Welcome to our video of Acklam Hall and St Mary's Church. We do hope you enjoy. Situated in Acklam itself, it has a distinguished history. The Domesday Book recording the existence of a king's manor there in 1086. The de Boynton family seem to have had the early rights of ownership to this land, and indeed it was them who sold the land upon which the hall sits today to the hustlers on the eve of the Civil War. We would just like to give a massive shout out to Curtis, the manager of Tomahawk Steakhouse, and Bob and friends of the St Mary's Parish Church who gave us permission to do what we did today. Thank you very much. Well, hello guys, it's MC Urban Exploration here, and we're on one of our famous little history jaunts, aren't we? When we're here at Acklam Hall today, and we're going to do a lot of the history because Neil actually went to the school here when it was a school, and you're going to do a bit of narration on what happened here, or
hopefully with the help of me auto cue. Like Paul said, there's a lot of history in this place, but it's also special for me as well, and that is because when this was a school, this was my school from the periods, I'm going to give me age away here, from the periods of 81 to 1985, and I spent a lot of years in detention and this school, but we're going to tell you all about this school and how far it goes back in history. The Boynton family acquired this land through marriage back in the 12th century, and later on Sir William Hustler then rented this land, and in the 16th century William Hustler, who's now Sir William Hustler, then went on to commission this grand hall to be built here in the suburbs of Middlesbrough, known as Acklam Hall.
So as Neil says, William Hustler owned this land, and he commissioned the building of Acklam Hall in 1680, and it took till 1683 till it was finished. Albeit unverified, it's said that King Charles II visited this hall in 1684. Acklam Hall is famously the only Grade 1 listed building in Middlesbrough. It dates from around 1680, having been built by Sir William Hustler on land owned by the family since the 1630s. Sir William Hustler was the third son of William Hustler of Acklam and Grace Saville. In 1680, William Hustler married Anne Wentworth, a young widow who had been born into the Osbaldeston family of Hunmanby. At about this time of his marriage, Sir William began to build Acklam Hall, and as I've previously stated, it was completed in 1683 and remained his home for the rest of his life. Sir William and his wife Anne had 13 children, but most of them died young. Their sons were William, James, John, Robert, Richard, George and Matthew. Their daughters were Anne, Everald, Frances, Elizabeth, Catherine and Ellen. Only James, Robert, Anne and Everald lived into adult life. William Hustler was knighted by King Charles II in 1678. The home that he built for himself and his family was to become the only Grade 1 listed building in the borough of Middlesbrough. Sir William served as a Member of Parliament from 1695 to 1710 and he was an active local magistrate for over 40 years, attending more than 60 quarter sessions. Sir William died in 1730. His widow Lady Anne outlived him by 16 years, and they were both buried at Acklam. St Mary's Church. There is said to be evidence to show that there had been a chapel or church on the site of St Mary's, Acklam, for over 1,000 years. The first reference to Acklam is found in the Domesday Book, with a mention of a church and a priest. So where we stood, Neil?
We're in the grounds of St Mary's Parish Churchyard. The church is just off shot. This is the graveyard where people were laid to rest, of course, and we stood next to two symbolic gravestones. This is Charlotte and Thomas Hustler.
And this is William Hustler, but not the William Hustler who originally built this place.
No, it would have been a family descendant.
It's one of his descendants, yes.
Yep. And as we all know, sons and daughters, well, mainly sons, were often named after the fathers and grandfathers, or the forefathers.
Yeah, because William actually commissioned the building of this place in 1680, as we've stated, 1680 to 83, wasn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and this gentleman, also known as William Hustler, who was a descendant of the original William, died in 1927. So unless he was a few hundred years old,
yes,
you know, when he passed away, then
that would be extraordinary, wouldn't it?
It would be extraordinary. Yeah. So.
We are going to mention that this place was rebuilt on 2 occasions, and we're going to narrate over the top and make sure we get all them facts in there for you when we do that.
And what we'll do now is we'll take you to some drone footage of the whole of this place, and we'll do that narration now.
Yep.
Several buildings have occupied this site since Saxon times. A medieval chapel of unknown age was rebuilt circa 1770. This in turn was pulled down and a new church built circa 1874 by Sir Thomas Hustler. The south porch main entrance was added in 1927, and a large extension to the north side of the 1874 building was also added too. Beneath an extended arch in the south side of the chancel is a stone effigy of Margaret Conyers, wife of Sir Thomas Boynton, who died in 1402. The arms of the Boynton and Conyers can be seen on the cushion beneath her pillow. The church you see today was completed in October 1957 and consecrated by the then Archbishop of York, Dr. Michael Ramsey, on the 19th of October 1957. St Mary's Church could then cater for a seated congregation of 400 people. Let's now make our way over to the lake, and we'll give you a little bit of history about that too.
So we're stood next to a man-made lake, and this lake is within the grounds of the Acklam Hall. It was initially made purposely to catch fowl, as in swans, geese, or any edible bird such as the mallard, the duck, which could be eaten on the dinner table in the manor house.
By the Hustler family.
By the Hustler family.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they did this, and the reason is, well, one of the reasons is they deliberately made it smaller than your average lake. I mean, we are in the grounds of a place where they could have built a lake the size of a football field, but they deliberately made this small one here. And that reason was that when your swans and your big birds landed on the lake, it was harder for them to take off. And there's a picture up on the wall in the manor house, or there used to be, of two men in a rowing boat, one with a net and one with the oars in his hands, and he's rowing across this lake here, just here, ready to get the next lunch. And that's why they built it very small. So the geese, the swans, would drop down for a rest and a feed, and then they'd come out and catch them.
Yeah, it's good that. So, I mean, it's been an interesting place here, hasn't it?
It has. A lot of history, a lot of memories for me as well. As I said, my schooling was here between the years 81 to 85. And a lot of laughs, a lot of tears, and a lot of ripped anoraks in them days.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's an absolute gorgeous place, and it's steeped in history. And like I say, it was owned for generations by the Hustler family, wasn't it?
It was. In the backdrop, we had two schools here. One was the Boyton School and one was the Hustler School. And for people who are watching this who are local to this area would know we had King's Manor, we had Hustler Boyton, and then we had St Andrews or St David's over here. For all the people who are local to this area, they would know what I'm talking about. Let us know if you went to school here in King's Manor or these adjacent schools. Let us know if this was your playground, if you used to come here. It's a wooded area all the way around. Everyone used to come here and walk the dogs as well. And people like my dad used to come here to collect logs. Yeah, we used to carry logs all the way from here, 5 miles away into Middlesbrough, in a pram and burn them on our open fire.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So listen, we've been Paul and Neil from MC Urban Exploration. Thanks for watching again, and bye for now.
Bye for now, thank you.